So before we begin, um, I'm going to say this statement really loud and clear, so nobody gets any misconceptions at all. I don't give a fuck who you are. Don't give a fuck about your political beliefs. Don't give a fuck about your religious beliefs. Don't give a fuck what you want to be, how you say you are, what you are, anything about that. That is not what this is about. So that's what you're going to spew any way, shape, or form through this. Then kindly fuck off. Realize I'm talking about us as a human.
Because I'm a black woman.
Oh, bummer. On scene after reportedly trespassing. They say he was damaging the memorial. Then others gathered to help detain him as police joined the group.
You are.
Look at this.
America, is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it? Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you.
Hello, everyone. It's Terry and Mr. Savage, your host of the Join the Raid podcast, diving headfirst into the raw and real. Charlie Kirk's life ended abruptly on September 10th, 2025, during a campus event, leaving behind a family, a legacy, and a nation grappling with raw emotions. In the days since, social media and news outlets have overflowed with reactions, some filled with joy at his passing, others with profound sorrow and support. But why? What drives people to celebrate a death or extend compassion in the face of tragedy? Today, we're unpacking the human side, the choices individuals make, the reasons behind them, and what it all says about our shared sense of morality. No judgments, just tough questions to rip open the heart of it all, and that's it. So when it happened, it's one of the things of act of surprise and shock across the board. And I saw some fucking really heinous fucking shit everywhere. And it's one of the things I look at people and be like, what the fuck's wrong with you? That's a husband and a father, above all else. Who gives a fuck what his political stance was? Who gives a fuck about what he preached? Because he preached religion and you didn't believe in it or didn't want to hear it. But you labeled him as a Nazi, anti-Semitic, racist. What the fuck's wrong with you? Because across the board, it's a fucking human life. It's an American human life. I'm talking specifically to the U.S. on this one. It's an American human life, and you're celebrating his death. And yet you preach constantly about the fact that everybody should get along and respect each other and be, who they want to be. And this man was doing it across the board. And nobody saw anything was wrong with it because they didn't like his message, his First Amendment right, which we all for U.S. citizens have across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to preach, well, he said that we should keep the Second Amendment right. But the same difference is that's not the right way the Second Amendment right was made for. And we all know that. If you don't know that, go back to your goddamn history books and actually read. Do research. Do the right fucking thing. Don't just preach on what you feel. Actually have some support behind it across the board. Mr. Savage, when it happened, I saw a reaction out of you I haven't seen in a while. And that's when I was like, you're spinning my head. It's like, I want to do this, but I want to do it in the right timing. And I don't want to disrespect or disrupt the grieving process for his family, even though they might never see this. It's just the fact that I want to respect them for that. So we're not going to be mainly focused on Charlie Kirk. We're focused on the after effects of it for a reason. That way I still remain respectful to his family. So yeah. So what was going through your head when that happened? When the assassination of him happened?
Honestly, it's pretty crazy because it makes you think about like the repercussions are so crazy now for just like you said, using your First Amendment. Your First Amendment rights. You're at a campus talking to people that are going to be part of the future generations, and then you get gunned down for that. That's where I saw it as like that's an attack on the First Amendment right, because now people are going to be scared to go out and do those things. You know, people are going to be more worried about just speaking their mind, and it can just be about anything too. The moment someone disagrees with you, that could be the end of it. And that's wrong, really is. People are now today have confused with disagreeing with someone and someone being like an enemy. How to put it, really? It's like a long time ago, people are able to have, conversations and disagree, and it'd be okay. You'd be like, all right, we disagree, but we can still be respectful about it and move on, get along. But now it's just getting too extreme on both sides. Doesn't matter what side, what political, religious, whatever. It's just the extremeness of it all. So yeah, when I saw that happen, I was upset. Like you said, you saw me punch my desk when I saw that he actually passed away. I was hoping that he was going to survive, and he didn't. And I was like, what the hell? Someone that was just speaking his mind and educating people. He was bringing facts to the table and just expressing what he was thinking about. And that cost him his life.
It's troublesome, to say the least, because across the board, you know me, I tell everybody this, no matter what, that if you have something to say, fucking say it.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be afraid to say it across the board either. Because for me, in lights of everything else, what's the worst that can happen? They don't like you. And this shows that I was fucking wrong on this standpoint, because we're in 2025. Majority of people don't fucking do certain things like this,
Mm-hmm.
And it's frustrating and it's irritating across the board that you literally do something. You have a platform, like we have a platform. And I got questioned about this one day. Let's have a conversation on safe spaces when we did with the Right View.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I said adults don't deserve a safe space unless they are mentally incapable or they are children, And then we went back and forth with it a little bit, and she's like, what about this scenario and this scenario? I was like, cool. Those scenarios aren't everybody. Those are specific individual scenarios. I'm talking about the general populace and people doing everyday things, nothing traumatic happening to them, living life. You don't require a safe space to deal with everything. If you do, then there's something wrong with you and you need to fucking grow up and man up on it. You know what I mean? But that's just my own personal preference and standpoint. It's not gospel. If you take what I have to say with like it's gospel, then it's something fucking wrong with you. And you don't think for yourself, and there's a problem with it. But nonetheless, I follow Kirk. I've been following Kirk since 2020. And I saw some things I liked and didn't like, which a lot of people don't understand that as much as I supported him a lot and actually loved his stuff all the time. There's some things I didn't like about it because I do my own fucking research on certain shit and say, I don't like how that looked or how that sounded. And then like a couple weeks later, he'd come back with it and say, oh, I need to recant what I said and change this because I did this. I was like, I like him more. I respect him more. Because let's say somebody came out from a Muslim background or something like that, and they literally gave them their standpoint and why they thought that way, and not just because they're feeling it, because they lived it. And he said, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Thank you so much for letting me know that. And he literally recanted every fucking remark and then came out with a new statement saying, let's do it this way. Let's go from here. I can respect a man that accepts his fucking flaws and then goes back and says, cool, I learned from this. I need to do everything right for this, and I want to still put my message out there, but I'm going to do it in a way that actually everyone can respect it. His open debates were great, were fantastic, because it showed people how to be on that level of having to have a conversation, an argument, or debate style using facts, not fucking feelings. And I love that no matter what. I love it a lot, and a lot of people don't grasp that a lot, how much I do love it and enjoy it, because it builds you as a person to not just have a good reputation to yourself, and knowing that if they're going to deal with you, they're going to need to know their shit across the board. They need to know what can happen here and there if they've recanted or they fucking backpedal or they don't want to use the standpoint of, let's go with facts now and feel what we got to do. You know what I mean? But yeah. Let me see here. I'm going to read. God damn it, Bulldog. You got to write like shorter sentences, dog. Oh. I'm trying to read it.
Want me to read it?
I got it. I thought it'd be like a short snippet here and there with people, but he went fucking full on. We're going to say what the fuck I gotta say now, motherfucker. I got a spotlight. Yeah, I got you, Bulldog. You're all good. I'm just fucking with you, dude. People allow their feelings to dictate their actions instead of thinking out the situation. Logic and common sense is not common virtue. That's my answer to the question. In addition, feelings have no place in debates. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Debate requires facts, logic, and dialogue. The problem is one side reacts off emotion and misleading, not always completely false, essentially half-truths. Half-truths, and most people are either too lazy or don't have time to dedicate to finding the truth, and there are many reasons for that. I will fucking say you're a liar on one standpoint of that, because people always have fucking time if they want to. They lack the fucking will to do it. That's the whole process of this one. Not that they don't have the time. Most of these people that are out there openly fucking stating fucking things based on their feelings have fucking time, because they have time to fucking post heinous shit. They have time to post that they love something so much, or they have time to fucking swipe through fucking TikTok all the goddamn time, or fucking any other social media.
Sure.
Guess what? You have time to fucking look up something that takes fucking 2 to 3 minutes just to make sure they're right. Make sure they're not giving out wrong information. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not that's why I say this, you're a liar. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just saying that statement is fucking wrong. They have time. Because the people that really don't have the time, don't fucking sit up making these fucking stupid remarks across the board. Don't fucking say these fucking elaborate fucking messages stating that somebody's wrong for their beliefs. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, though.
Yeah, a lot of the times, people don't want to admit that they're wrong. So like you said, in that aspect where, Charlie Kirk would actually be like, all right, thank you for giving me that information, because now he can readjust of what he thinks. That's what we essentially are doing as humans. The more information you gather, your mindset changes on certain subjects and topics, and how you see life, how you see, laugh, love, all those kind of things, family, friends, everything can be perceived differently with, new knowledge, new information. But a lot of the times people don't, when you're so, I'm going to reference Joe Rogan here, but it's when people are so attached to their ideals, they refuse to let go, and they don't want to be wrong on that. So they refuse to do either education themselves, or like, I guess a common thing today is, and it's on both sides, but you'll say, okay, where are you getting these facts? Can you show me the evidence? And they'll be like, oh, you do your research. I'm not gonna educate you myself. And I think that's kind of wrong to say that. If you're gonna claim something, back it up.
Absolutely. That's that brings you to, I'll mention Crow. I'm sorry, I won't say your name out there. But Crow, I asked him a question about something he asked me and said, where did you see that? And he instantaneously had that shit ready. It's like right here, right here, right here. I was like, okay, cool. And nice. I did my own research about it. I don't think we followed up, because my brain goes like a fucking rabbit on crack, because it's just going everywhere. But yeah, it's one of those good things of, if you believe in it and you have facts behind it and you know that there's research behind it, that's something you'd keep in your pocket. You'd have it favorited or bookmarked or something like that. You know what I mean? Then, at least for me, especially if you get into these debates a lot, you would think you'd have it, from my standpoint. All right. Crow, you said, we have enough education today to know what's right and wrong. The mental ability to sheath our swords is what needs to be adapted to common knowledge. That is very true. I find it hard to sheath the sword most of the time for myself because I tend to attack and I tend to react more than anything else. But I'm not doing it out of feelings or anything like that. It's usually out of what's right and wrong across the board, no matter what. And that's just who I am,
Yeah. It's more of like a frustration that you know that they're completely wrong. So you get energized to change their point and correct them.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Bulldog said, admitting, I'd say that argue to win in today's time, some can't handle being wrong and can't control their emotions. I mean, I am a flaw. I'm flawed like that too. Because sometimes when I know I'm losing, and I know like for a fact I'm fucking losing, I go to the psychological route and say, I'm just going to keep doing this till it pisses you the fuck off and you leave now. And I'll keep fucking talking. I'll talk fucking forever. So that's that. I know I'm immature in that standpoint. I do know it. So I don't try to debate with many people that much just for that reason of if I'm wrong and I know I'm wrong, I admit I'm wrong. But at the same time is I got to have something in myself to make myself feel better. I'm petty. I admit it. I'm petty. And as many people know, keep telling me all the time during certain streams, I'm a fucking bully. So it comes out every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? It comes out. Right? Claiming a winning stance is faultable in its own standing. There's no way of talking back and forth when you want to have a conversation. That's true, but that's also where it comes to the art of conversation, that's just it. It's the art of conversation, you know what I'm saying? Knowing how to talk to people, how to go back and forth. Savage and me butt heads randomly when we talk, sometimes we talk over each other, but we notice it and we stop. One of us stops and then we just wait for the other one. We're not perfect at it. I can admit that we're not. But it happens, but at least we're still learning and still growing in that standpoint. But yeah, but before I need to do, I'm gonna say it one last time before anybody else says anything stupid. Nobody said anything stupid yet, but I'm saying it now. It's not political, not emotional, not religious based, not anything like that. Don't give a fuck what you represent. Don't give a fuck anything like that. This is about the U.S. and literally how heinous I saw every fucking thing and why. What compelled people to do this. So, without further ado, we're gonna pick if it will fucking work. There we go. Nope. There we go. Cool. All right, Savage. What personal experiences or beliefs might lead someone like the shooter to act out on frustrations, viewing Kirk's words as harmful enough to justify violence?
A lot of the times it's kind of like who was saying it earlier, it's like half truths or not even half truths, things taken out of context. Like you said earlier, people on TikTok, a lot of the times when you see a video, especially that's politically motivated, religious motivated, etc., people will take things out of context. They'll take a phrase out of the whole paragraph, and you just look at that one sentence, and it's going to be seen as horrendous. So people go off of that and they build off of it, and it blows up because humans, for whatever reason, go off of more negative than positive in life. And that can be a lot of things, anger, bad things in life in general. Negative things tend to, even I'm at fault for it. When I'm watching videos, you see someone get hurt and you're like, ooh, it's a bad thing. You shouldn't be like watching it, but yet it's still, you get drawn to it. So that gets more clicks, that gets more views. So, yeah.
I get that. I can agree with that. For myself, it goes to the standpoint of if you mentally are already inciting violence in yourself to someone else just because they're talking on the platform, like across the board, no matter what it is. What's wrong with you? Especially if, first off, you haven't sat down with that person or confronted them face to face, which, let's be honest, someone like Kirk would have sat the fuck down and talked to them and made sure that you could actually, talk back and forth. And you could ask him, what did you mean by this? Did you mean this? Did you mean this? Because that happens to me a lot of people saying, well, you said this. I was like, did you ask for context? Did you ask for a description of what the fuck I meant? Or did you just take what I said and just say, oh, he's the worst person in the fucking world? Which I don't care if that's what you think about me or anything like that, which I know he didn't care either because he didn't fucking pander to them. He didn't say, oh, that's not what I meant. He's like, if you don't have the common decency to fucking ask the question, then there's no point of fucking acknowledging you, because there's no reason to spoon feed somebody if they're not going to actually do any work of their own. Try to talk to them, but that's just one of the things I think about. Do you think that the shooter, and I know it's going to be a lot of processing on this one for yourself, do you think the shooter feels like they're accomplished for doing this? Like, just from what you've seen, just from the interviews, just from the trials, everything like that, do you think he feels accomplished for doing this? Or do you think he feels regret for doing it?
If we're throwing out all the conspiracy theories that are going out right now about him not even being the shooter, and this is a different kind of thing, because trust me, this is a big rabbit hole going down in this whole thing, but let's just say this is the actual person, 100%, nothing else. All right. Does he feel accomplished? To be honest, no, because it's actually drawn a lot of people closer together. I don't know if you've seen, his funeral, but he had 100,000 people at his just a funeral, open place, public place. And it's, when you look at it as a whole, there's far more people supporting Charlie Kirk's dream than people celebrating his death.
Yeah, I know what you meant, JR. You said trials, they've made no progress. I know what you meant, but you know what I mean, man. I've been wrapping my brain around every fucking thing with this for the last week and a half, and so my words are all fucked. So don't judge me. Or actually, to judge me, it doesn't bother me. That's fine. Just write it in the comments, make fun of me. It's fine. But it's one of those things where I don't think anybody understands the process of taking a life. And I know majority of people won't grasp that concept, but I do. You're not the same. Even if you have hatred for them, or you're just doing your job, or anything like that, it's not really the same, and you learn to process it differently. So from my standpoint, I don't think they're going to feel accomplished at all. But that also goes if he's actually 100% mentally sane across the board, how those fucking goes. But that's way over my pay grade, or pay scale across the board, or how that goes. And it goes to more conspiracy theories across the board. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. The court case yesterday was literally 10 minutes long just to schedule for the next one on October 30th. But you know what I think of USDO, Department of Justice? I know what you think of. I really know what you think of, man. And it's one of those things of, you're not the only one that thinks that way about the Department of Justice and the court systems. A lot of people do. And that goes for every state, too. It's not just one state particularly that they fucking people say this shit. You know what I mean? It's the fact that these things can be solved from the local level across the board. Honestly, could be. But we'll get into that in another episode because we want to stay on track on this one. But yeah, and honestly, JR, you might have to come on for that one because I like your personal perspective of that. Some people are mad at the wife for going on in his legacy instead of being behind the scenes. Here's the thing about that, Sly. Do you know the background of his wife?
She's actually pretty smart.
She is smart, but do you know the background of his wife? And do you know her foundation that does the hoodies or clothing for the homeless, and her whole shop's fucking sold out. Yeah, and it's one of those things that I just fucking find fucking crazy. It's like, Jesus Christ. I think it was like a week after Kirk passed, and it was fucking crazy. We was like, oh, let's just look at it and see what it is. And Jared said to me, he's like, oh, I don't think you'd like it. It's like, why? I said, it was religious based. It's like, it is what it is. I'll support it. And like, I'll literally give it to somebody I know who is religious based, but it's going to help the homeless and everything like that across the board too. Went there, and every single, I've never seen a website where every single thing is sold out. Every single thing.
It's crazy.
So it's like, wow, it's fucking crazy. Lily, if we will talk about that during another stream or something like that, because that is going away from this episode. But we can talk about it like that, or you can jump in the VC one day if I'm in there and we can talk about it too. It's an ideology that is diabolically opposed to American society. But I need context on that one, because I think I might have missed a piece here or there with that one. I don't, but I commend her, and I think it's great that she is doing what she needs to do as a partner, because that's what marriage is about. I do too. I would say I think she should take a reprieve, honestly, and help reconcile with her children, because there's a lot of things that process with that. Not only did their dad go to work, but it was his work basically, and not come home. But there was one of those fucking things where they look at it and they see like, well, he's coming home like this day, like always. Now he's never coming home.
Mm-hmm.
And that going to a child's mental health psyche literally can make them spiral and crack later on down the line. So I think she should maintain her home life and children more than anything else. I understand being in the forefront of something that was fucking so strong, so powerful, so driven. Should be an important reason, but I think the children should come first before anything else that goes along with anything what he's doing. Because honestly, a reprieve is not going to hurt anything. She has so much fucking support behind her across the board too. It's fine to take a break, in my opinion. It's fine for her to take a break from that and just focus on the kids, make sure that everything they need and necessity are good, and make sure she can process it herself too. Because there's a lot of mental strains that go along with that, of not having that significant other there again, which she committed her life to. But that's just me, Next question. What personal experience or beliefs might lead someone like the shooter to act on their frustration? Oh, wait, I already asked that question. Shit. That's why I hate my mouse, man. I need to get a new mouse. It keeps rolling back and forth. Okay. A placement for open dialogue in Utah Valley, Utah Valley University. Why do some people choose to see such events as opportunities for disruption rather than discussion, in your opinion?
It comes down to them being cowards, honestly. That's how I see it, at least. Kind of like you said earlier, Charlie Kirk would have, just sat down with them and talked. But for whatever reason, he didn't have the mental fortitude or the strength, the willpower to just come forward and speak. Because oftentimes things are accomplished with words over weapons. Things are fixed a lot more often with words than weapons. And sadly, this person did not have the mental fortitude to actually just step forward and speak their mind.
For me, I feel like it's vast opportunity, because you know exactly where they are. Because this is thinking from a strategic standpoint, you know where they are, you know how it is, you know there's lack of security because it's a college campus. So who the fuck's going to do anything stupid there in the first place with so many figures there at the same time that just has a lot of eyes on them? But across the board, it's like, why that one? I believe they went to another one like 3 weeks before that. So why Utah Valley, and what made it be that way across the board, where they could have so ease of access to
opportunity, and whatever other things that we don't know about exactly, but I think opportunity is a big part of that.
Oh, absolutely. But it's because I know people are going to think I'm fucking heinous for this. I respect the fucking opportunistic side of it, because I think that way logically and strategically across the board like that. But at the same time, it's still heinous. It's still wrong. But you do what you do because you feel a certain way, or you have such a belief behind it. But they had a way of talking Because he would have talked, even though what he was doing was talking about gun violence at the time. He would have talked about everything else. That's what he always does, anyways. You know, and that's how it always has been with him. He'll talk about different scenarios, different things that he believes in. He'll go religious, he'll go political, he'll go personal, every fucking thing. So, yeah, it's weird. Okay. When people share videos or posts expressing relief or humor about Kirk's death, what personal histories or emotional triggers might be at play? Perhaps past feelings of being marginalized or unheard?
Hate. That's the biggest factor for a lot of these people. They're given, again, out of context information, and they allow that to drive their every being, every fiber in their muscles to do what they did. They saw what they were doing as right because in their head and eyesight, to them, Charlie Kirk was a bad person. He deserved this because he's a bad person. It's kind of like, we all can collectively say Hitler's a bad guy and he deserved to die. For the vast majority of people.
Okay, I was just saying.
Vast majority of people. I would say
which standpoint?
95% of the world we're gonna say we can all agree that we can all agree on that perspective. That other 5%, they're gonna see it differently. So it's all about perspective.
Yeah, fuck you, JR. I know exactly what you said. You know exactly why I made that face. We'll get into that another time too. Why I say that, but we're not going there right now. I can't grasp why you would share such heinous fucking shit about somebody dying, who's a father and who has children, who has beautiful children, and who has a wife, who they openly are so clairvoyant and say, we love each other, we are in this religion together, we stand together in this political view, and we are doing it all together as a family, which honestly 90% of fucking families across the US can't even say they do 1% of.
Mm-hmm.
So why the fuck are you celebrating somebody else's death when, in all honesty, is your life that fucking meaningless? Is your personal life that fucking sad and depressing? Or are you fucking just a clout chasing bitch? I'm just saying it like that, a clout chasing bitch, because everybody else is doing it. You got to do it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see it in all different forms. Like you showed the video earlier. The girl that walked up to the mural or whatever it was and kicked over the poster and destroyed it and everything. And then she not only got fired from her job, but she actually got kicked out of that apartment. Her landlord kicked her out. And I was like, that's consequences of your actions,
And for that, I will say this right now. For that, being kicked out of your apartment for that, what she didn't breach her lease agreement, which I think is wrong on her lease on the leaser. But same difference is ask stupid questions, win stupid prizes, kind of thing. That's just one of those things. Thank you all for the gifted. Thank you all for the subs. I appreciate it. Y'all don't have to do that right now. I'd rather y'all have conversations back and forth. Not gonna lie. But I feel that if you do anything publicly, you have all right to ridicule across the board. I do agree with that. Even for myself, I will always say that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a line to certain extents because people have this fucking safety feeling because they're on the fucking internet.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody goes fucking crazy that they get doxxed, which means somebody revealed their personal information because they put their shit out there. And it's funny because people think they go through these dark channels and networks to figure out this information, but they don't fucking read their own fine print on their internet company bills.
Mm-hmm.
You can look up any fucking body if they opted into, share my data here and there. Anybody. So I think it's funny across the board. Is that doxing if they think keyboard can save them anymore? I mean, it is doxing technically in a standpoint, but the same difference is it's one of those things that they're doxing themselves. And I think they're allowing themselves to be seen. And they put themselves in the fucking lights across the board of being seen like this. But yeah, other people are doing it fucking too. But that doesn't mean it's fucking right. I'm going to go back to what my mom and granny used to say. Like, your friend jump off a bridge, you going to do it too? You know, kind of one of those things. It's not my fault you're ignorant. It's not my fault you don't have this fucking standpoint in your brain of we will make it different.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be different. I don't want to be the same fucking person as everybody else. I don't want to be a carbon copy of any fucking body.
Yeah. And like you said, the internet gives them the false sense of security. And so they think they can just say whatever they want to say, do whatever they want to do, and not get in trouble for it, or have someone reciprocate that amount of effort into doing that. So you get people that were doxing people, you were getting people that were getting someone else fired, etc.
Yeah, but it goes to that standpoint of if you're working for certain companies that have a good public image, and let's just say the benefactor, the one who started the company, is a supporter of certain things. If you don't fit the dynamic of the company, and you decide to be a heinous piece of shit, I'll say it like that. You decide to be a heinous piece of shit. Yes, you get your voice in your First Amendment right.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment you voice it on the internet, everybody fucking gets to see it. So you get all repercussions of that in a non-violent nature. I'm going to say it like that for a reason, because I know somebody's going to fucking come back to me and say, well, that's what somebody else did. They took it upon themselves to fucking, assassinate him because they didn't like what he had to say. No, fuck that. In a non-violent nature. Because people that lose their jobs over this shit, they can literally file for unemployment most of the time. And then they can literally go apply for another job. Job market sucks right now, but they can still do it. It's one of those things. On platforms like Reddit or in news reports, why do some opt to mock grief publicly, framing it as a karma or justice served?
That's kind of goes back to the whole thing, like I said earlier. A lot of misguided people are seeing it for one side, and that's it. They're not getting the whole story, so they just see it as a bad person. So it's justice served when it's not really justice. And it's being framed as that for whatever reason, political, religious ideals. People might, there's theories out there why he was targeted this time, and et cetera, et cetera. There's so many things out there and many reasons it could be, but it always comes back to that being false information given as the truth.
Yeah, I get that. Oh, that was a good statement, Bulldog. Even though it's long as shit. It also doesn't help when one group has been vilifying the opposition, comparing people to Hitler, Mussolini for nearly a decade. The weak-minded will believe it and relate to it. Related to history and feel the need to act. Then that group turns around and gaslights the opposition. That is very true. We're not going there, but it's a fucking good statement. And JR had one. Unless you're a politician, you can say whatever you want and not lose your job or get voted out. I agree with that. But it also matters on certain policies, because people don't realize this. Inside their agreements to work there is a media clause in most agreements when you work places. Legitimately, I tell them to go back to your hiring form when you signed it and make sure there's not a clause in there, and take it down to legal representation to make sure there's not a clause in there. Because there's not one, then you can go get your job back or sue them. I'm not saying they deserve to lose their job, shit like that. I'm saying the fact that just be smarter. If you're going to do stupid shit, fucking be smart about it. Yeah, that's just me, though.
Yeah, the company or job that you get hired from, that company has an image to maintain. And if someone's in their company walking around hysterically laughing at someone just being assassinated, that's not a good image for their company. So they're going to do something about that.
Yeah, I agree with that. So for me, if you believe justice is served by a fucking United States citizen being assassinated in fucking in Utah Valley University, and say it's just served, what did he do so wrong? What did he fucking do to harm somebody? That's what I want to know. Because if you have 100% factual evidence that he was inciting racism, inciting anti-Semitic choices and answers across the board and putting that out there, please, I will say this, fucking message it to me across the board. And then we'll sit down and talk. Because there's many times he sat down with someone who's Islamic, Jewish, Muslim, whatever the different cultures are. I don't give a fuck at the moment. I ain't gonna lie about it because this is more important than that. But he'll sit down with them and say, why do you think that? And he'll talk with them. He won't attack them at all. And yet they can sit down and have the conversation across the board and walk away from each other without any fucking violent acts, without any hatefulness, and say thank you for your time. But a fucking person born in the US that honestly has been given the right to freedom and everything else says that they're fucking oppressed. They're discriminated against because of what they say. And the only thing I have to say to that is quit saying stupid, ignorant shit. That's all you gotta do, and nobody's gonna look at you differently after that. Nobody's gonna put you to this lower standard again. Educate yourself a little bit. Make sure that you are saying the correct things. That way you are portraying yourself the right way. But there's no need for anyone to say justice is served or karma for him being assassinated the way he was at all.
Yeah, no. There was never a time where he ridiculed someone just for being a different kind of person. You know, like you said, he's had Muslims, he's had other kinds of cultures up. He's also had, you know, different people of color, you know, black, Asians, whatever. He didn't care what you were. He just wanted to have a conversation with you. That's all. And a lot of the times, 99% of the time, he would use the facts that he was retaining from books, from article researches, stuff like things like that. Now, there was a lot of talking points that I didn't agree with on certain things, and that's because, you know, the cultural differences, your religious standpoints, etc. So I didn't agree with everything he said, but a lot of the times, the things he talked about were factual things. He didn't talk through emotion. He talked through facts.
So, One Love, you had a statement here. He said, didn't really like the guy or his opinion on most things, but I've never watched a full episode of any of his things. Or if he had one. Yes, he did. He had plenty of them. They were out there everywhere. You just had to look for them. But that's not against you because you didn't really like his stuff. I don't think he is a bad person. Good point. I believe he can say anything he wants, no matter if it's true or not. And people have the choice to take his word for it and do the research. And sometimes find out the silly thing isn't so silly. Freedom of speech is good, but hate speech isn't. I believe people need to have a little more respect. Yes, I agree with that. Here's the difference with that one. I don't think people need a little bit more respect. I think they need a little bit more fuck, I had it in my head. So we'll say respect right now. I think they need a little more tolerance on certain standpoints because they get their feelings riled up because somebody said something, but they don't know how to maintain their own emotions across the board to think properly. They let all of that fucking rile up, and then they just explode. Some of them short fuse, some of them longer fuses, but they need to have that level of controlling themselves to certain standpoints. Is emotional fueled anger important at times? Yes, it is. I'm not going to say it's never important. It is at times, but in debates and talking to people, it's not. It's truly not. There, Crow. Right, there's plenty of people I don't agree with, despite from their character and choices in life. But taking away all ability to talk with death changes and everything on both sides. I agree with that. My most annoyed part of my brain was that he gave the new minds of our generation a place to argue their viewpoints, good or bad, angry or nice. Children will learn from this interaction now in digital world, whether we like it or not. That's spooky as hell to me. I mean, it is. I think it's really great that there's a lot of people going around now starting to do open debates in certain university now. And I think that's fucking cool as fuck because he impacted a lot of lives in so many different ways that made people either think differently, act differently, or just change like a little bit of the other brain that they do themselves. And he's younger than I was, and he's impacted way more lives than I ever fucking will. In a positive light, too. I understand a lot of people don't like him. I understand that, and I will never care if you do or don't. But looking at some of these colleges, I wish I would have pulled the fucking list because I didn't fucking think about it. I wish I would have pulled a list of the colleges that students started having open debates themselves and not emulating him, but doing their own fucking thing of it. And I think that's fucking beautiful because you're giving people the avenue to have conversations that literally help people grow in all aspects of it.
Now, you know who Steven Crowder is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so he was the original person that did this kind of thing. One of the original. Changed my mind thing, that was his idea. He's actually back now. He's actually starting to do it again, which is funny because if people didn't like Charlie Kirk, you're not gonna like this guy. He's way worse.
Charlie Kirk is so
way
much worse.
He's
so much more aggressive.
Charlie Kirk was more like on the middle of the pendulum or the scale, whereas Steve Crowder is more extreme. And there's a lot of things I didn't really like about Steve Crowder just because the way he speaks to certain people and how he acts. And there's a lot of things that I watch his videos for like information, because he is good at getting information, truthful like facts. He is good at getting like things that were like supposed to be hidden. All he gets those emails that are supposed to be not shown to the public.
I love that. Not even gonna lie, I love the fact that he's coming back because that just. I know a lot of people are going to hate this standpoint, but that's honestly more ammunition in so many different ways of showing the fact that the lesser of two evils from the standpoint is always better to deal with in certain standpoints. People always say that, no, you should not deal with any evil. But honestly, I'd rather deal with the lesser of two evils because then people like Steven Crowder come back out of the woodwork. And I think there's a missed opportunity here, which I know we can't turn back time or anything like that. Him and Charlie in a debate.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Would have been fucking amazing. No lie. It would have been so fucking amazing. But yeah. We will continue on. Where was that? Oh yeah. Alright. Let's talk about celebrity posts. So celebratory posts to employers who do individual choice wow, I can't word today at all, man. I am fucked. Mentally fucked today as much as I thought about this stuff. Calls to report celebratory posts to employers. Why do individuals choose this route, seeing it as accountability, while others view it as overreach? From my standpoint on this one, I believe to a specific point, it's overreach, unless, like I said before, it's in their goddamn original hiring contract saying they won't say certain things social media-wise, especially they're representing the fucking brand. Because across the board, you represent nothing but yourself most times, unless you work for certain companies and they look at all the information you portray out there. Military being one of them, you can't say, I'm going to assassinate the president or anything like that, because it's being in the military. Guess what happens? You are fucking gone. You're done. You're done instantly. You go Article 15, brig, everything like that. No, you can't do that. Government jobs, can't do that. Certain companies work with government, and then guess what? You can't do that. And then there's fucking holding companies that work with government. That's in their fucking text. Can't do that there either. So if you don't fucking know your own employment history and like how they're fucking, hiring people and like what's worded a certain way in your hiring package, I would just say don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Yeah. So it's one of those things. What about you? Because we kind of already talked about this, but
Yeah, no, an example for here is there was a newscast, and they're talking about it, what's happening, and they got the news that he'd passed. And instead of keeping it neutral and be like, someone has died, this is the news, it is sad, unfortunate, but let's move on. They started cheering and applauding. Now that's a bad outlook for everything, because now you got adults watching this, you got kids watching this, and that can be a very bad perspective to put on the younger audience, especially because they're very,
impressionable.
Impressionable, yeah, that's a good word for it. And so they see that, if they see full-grown adults applauding someone's death, they're gonna think that's okay for the future, and that could leave a mark for kids later in life. So where they actually got fired, and I agreed with that, because it's like that's not something you should be doing. Like
I
the
agree.
news is specifically supposed to be neutral, anyways.
But the
That's
news has never been neutral in like the past fucking 15 years. So it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
exactly. But that's what the news is supposed to be. But either way, that's drawing the line.
Yeah. And I will elaborate why I say that. Most how it used to be. Let's go from like the 80s to the 90s of how news outlets release their stories. Writer, publisher, print, agency. Says can't say that. Retract. Do another story and like it, but take out certain things. Print. Now it goes writer, send to agency. Yes, that's okay or not okay. Things like that. So, that there's a line of communication that shouldn't be there at certain standpoints, because I don't believe any agency, any 3-letter agency should have control over any news outlet or saying that they can or can't say certain things. But I get the feeling, I get the standard top secret security clearance, things like that they find out things they shouldn't know. That's fine. Saying, hey, can you please them saying like, hey, take that one part out. Everything else is fine. Not, we wrote this up. Do you think it's okay? That's wrong to me. That's not real reporting. That's literally having a babysitter say you can and can't say this.
Yeah, finances has taken over the media outlet. They get financed by certain people, certain companies, and they have control over them of what they say and what they do.
Yeah, I get that. One low, maybe not neutral, but like I said, our little respect go a long way. I agree with that, but you need to fucking have. I wish there was fucking reporters from like back in the fucking 80s, man, who did the fucking work and dug and everything like that, and literally said, "Look, we're posting this, we're printing this, and guess what? If you don't want me to print it here, I'll go print it somewhere else, smaller, and just make sure it goes everywhere else too."
Yeah.
There's nobody that does that anymore. Everybody's too fucking scared, and the ones that do it, we don't hear about it because they get discredited across the board. Like some way, shape, or form, something that has a spotless record, then all of a sudden is in a scandal randomly.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't work out for me, man. All right. Kirk's widow, Erica, if y'all didn't know, that's his wife, has shared messages of building a positive legacy amid her loss. Why do people rally around her with vigils and kind words, choosing forgiveness or solidarity over bitterness?
Yeah, there was many stages of grief for her. It was pretty quick too, so it was interesting to see how she kind of reacted to the whole situation, because there was obviously sadness. She just lost her husband. Then she went to anger, but then she came back into what she is based around, her religious belief, and she didn't want to. She explained it as though she said she didn't want to stain her path into heaven. Like, she didn't want to corrupt her own soul. She didn't want to do what he did, what this person did, out of emotion.
I get that. For me, it shows me that she is able to stand up on her own, which we knew she could. If you know anything about her background, she can stand up on her fucking own. She is very accomplished, and it's fucking amazing how you see that. And most people don't look at her as a woman of fucking progress or anything like that, or business, but she's a fucking diehard businesswoman across the board, and she can kick ass in it too. And she basically gave that up to be someone's wife and then start something else and build up something else entirely. That tells you of what kind of person changes what they've been building for their life to marry someone else to support them. Tells you what kind of man he was.
Yeah, they were both powerhouses. I mean, he was my age, 32 years old, born 93, same year I was born. Just, I was a few months older than him. And it's crazy to think, the differences in life, and where I'm at in my life. And then you look at where he's been, that's pretty crazy to be that successful at that age.
He's fucking world knowledgeable. That's the thing about it. It's not just the U.S., just a state or a couple states. It's the world knows who he is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what the fuck are we doing wrong here? I do that every once in a while. So y'all know that I'm a fucking pessimistic son of a bitch sometimes. But yeah, it's one of those things. I do that and I look at it. It's like I gotta fucking fix my fucking shit to fucking get to that level somehow, some way, shape, without doing heinous things. So nobody has to worry about me going to jail or anything like that. But for me, building a positive legacy amid Charlie Kirk's death is such a wonderful thing, because you take something that's so grieving, so dark, so soul shattering. Because I don't know if anybody's ever seen someone they care about actually pass, or shot or something like that. But it's because I don't know if she was there or not there. Because there's at report she was there, report she wasn't there. I don't know. Don't care. Just just from seeing it, because there's been pretty avid graphic videos of seeing it, because we saw it the first day and it was fucking clear as day what happened.
Yep.
Being able to bounce back and hold yourself to the level of, I'm gonna make sure my kids are good. I'm gonna make sure everybody knows we're gonna do this way and be positive and know this, because of her religious background across the board and just herself, what she believes in, is a beautiful thing. I can't say anything negative about it. It's literally doing good things and bringing out light and faith into certain things and belief to help people that, because I didn't know this. So many people looked up to him. A lot of people did.
Oh yeah.
That not just in the political standpoint either, in the religious standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never followed the religious standpoint across the board, because we all know me. I'm not religious, but I respect it. I'm always going to respect it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just wild to me of how big of an impact they are. So yeah, I love it. It's good. I do like people that share positivity across the board. Let's see here. Bye. I really need a new mouse. It keeps scrolling backwards, and I'm doing the other way. Okay, cool. All right. From local gatherings to international tributes, what motivates individuals to honor someone's memory, even if they didn't agree with everything they stood for?
I guess it all just depends on the person, He was a very religious person, so a lot of the stuff that went on was very religious in that kind of sense. Vigils was a big thing for the people that were, I think they're actually putting a bronze statue of him somewhere in a certain university. I can't remember where. But either way, people, tend to do that kind of thing in their own way. And for a lot of the cases for this specific person, it was through religion, because they're very strong in their beliefs, and that's how they mourn. That's how they are grateful to that person for what he's done.
Yeah, I get that. So we're going to circle back for a second. Yeah, for Inky Crow. Yeah, and that same group of people started, I'm pretty sure he's going to be blaming her for not mourning enough, trying to make money off the passing, trying to denounce away her strong belief in both of their religions and what to do afterwards. Don't understand how these people think. I mean, I grasp why they say that, because, like I said earlier, like her whole fucking everything of hers is fucking sold the fuck out after that, because people just want to show support in some way, shape, or form. But I don't believe that's her trying to make money off of it, because literally 50% of it goes to clothing the homeless. So I don't see that as her profiting from it. And then also the fact that everyone's saying she's not grieving enough, and I said it myself, that she should focus more on the children than worrying about the big picture. Like I said, I can tell it myself, like, it's a beautiful thing, but I still stand on what I stand on. I think she should be more at home with it. And I know JR said earlier that it might be helping her grieve, which is, I get it, but I'm more focused on the children's grieving process more than fucking her own yet, because there's going to come a time where she has a time alone when the children aren't right there next to her or anything like that, where she can process it in certain ways to show support. Well, she might be doing that way. I don't know 100%. But if she is doing it that way, where the children aren't around, everything like that, she's promoting all this stuff, then that's fine. That's the way she grieves. That's the way she fucking grieves. But like I said, from what I've seen the kids there. That's why I say it the certain way that I do. So I'd rather take the children and make sure they're good across the board. Fuck fucking social media, fuck the news, fuck everything else. And honestly, fuck religion on that standpoint. Make sure your kids are good. Yeah. Make sure the kids are good first, then go with what you needed to go with it where it makes you feel better. Because again, like we said many times, the children are the next of the carriers of this generation to the next, and they're the ones that's going to take care of us when we're old and decrepit and everything else. So, you know, you got to make sure you take care of them so they take care of you when it comes down to it. But yeah. The tribute tree, I've never been big on those. The little vigils, I've never been big on them. I respect them. I've been to some for my friends that have passed in certain ways, and I get it. But I'd rather just go to their funeral. And if I can't go to their funeral, I'd rather just sit in silence and do it my own way. But that's just me. I know I'm different. I know I'm antisocial in certain aspects of across the board when it comes to things like that. But I don't want to have a spectacle. Like, if I pass away, there better not be a fucking vigil. There better not be fucking something like that. I don't even want a goddamn funeral at all for me. But I know it's not for me, so I know it's going to happen either way it goes.
Yeah.
So, you know, I want everyone to grieve in their own way. Like I said, I did not know so many people were impacted in this way. So sadness and supporting his family and everything like that, which is a beautiful fucking thing. It shows people having some kind of community backing to them, which I love so fucking much. If anybody knows that about me, I really love true support. But yeah, that's all I'm going right there. Cause I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole if I keep going that way. Okay. When public figures or everyday people express sorrow, admitting they worried for Kirk's safety, what reasoning leads them to bridge the divides with empathy? Because I'm not gonna lie about it, he was a public figure. Yeah. He wasn't a politician, which I don't think a lot of people didn't know that. I think they thought he was for the Conservative Party, but he was not a politician. But he was very strongly opinionated on certain things when it comes to politics, and he learned a lot. He taught a lot, but he was a podcaster. He was a public debater, so, you know, and a religious leader in certain aspects of things. So I'll go first on this one. I think it's because people started to resonate with him, started to understand where he comes from and understand what he wanted to do. What his beliefs were, because he wanted to stand for the Constitution, and he wanted to have that religious backing with it, because if nobody fucking knows this and don't grasp this, the Constitution and religion kind of went hand in hand together for a while before it came to this new age shit where people didn't like the religion or anything like that, and they didn't want to talk about it because they don't believe in it. But guess what, man? I don't believe in it, and I still fucking feel no problem talking about it. I have no problem fucking having the conversation about it or researching it just to know what I'm dealing with. Because I used to be religious. I used to be Southern Baptist. And guess what? Everybody can change. And I still want to learn, still want to talk and have the conversations across the board, because I will never dismiss something. I might say, oh, I don't believe in that right now because I don't see proof of it yet, but I still would look into it. But you just gotta, I feel that so many people connected with him in so many different interpersonal ways that I can't grasp how at all. And I wish I could, because I think that would make me a better person in certain aspects, to either one, help somebody else in something they need, or to be capable of giving them the path or the courage to do what they need to do to help themselves.
Yeah, I kind of agree with like the whole thing you're saying there. They can relate to him, and they can kind of look up to him for guidance, or for like even like something of like a direction they want to go. And I'm not religious at all myself, really, and but I can still see the significance of religion as a whole. It's a good form of structure, a good form of guidance, and a good way to have like a family. there's many reasons why people turn to religion. Just because you do believe in God right off the get go, but something else could be like you're lost in life and you need something to turn to. And a lot of the times, religion is a good way to find purpose. Or, other forms is like a very strong structural form for family. So it can be so many things, and he showed that in all aspects. He was he was very strong in his beliefs. He's talked about it all the time, but he wasn't bashful. He wasn't arrogant about it. He wasn't like taunting people for not being part of religion. He kind of just wanted to have conversations with people and kind of ask why they weren't, or maybe help guide them towards that path.
Yeah, I get that. Crow said something. I can't go on that because I said I'm not being political right now, Crow. Fuck yourself. But you said something really nice too. Here you go. We'll put it up on the screen. That's a dangerous route in itself. Helping all can take everything away from you. Needs to be a balance in change. I get that. It needs to be a balance. At the same time, I don't give a fuck. If I want to help somebody, I'm going to fucking help somebody. Because honestly, I think of myself less of anybody else than anyone ever will. And I don't give a fuck how much it takes from me. If I feel like I can do it, I will fucking do it. I got to hear the same thing from PL, from everybody else. Of I do too much for people or everything like that. I don't give a fuck, man. I'm just going to still do it no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is what it is. I don't. Yeah, T-Heat, I know exactly, because you tried to fucking slip that in there like that, because I was reading it while he was talking. Funny thing, I saw what you did there. I'm not doing that right now. 2, we're not monetized yet to where I need to worry about it, but same difference is, no, we're not doing that. Let's see here. We already covered that. All right, cool. With split reactions across media, eulogies alongside with criticism, why do some people choose to see this as a sign of societal decline, while others view it as honest diversity of thought?
I definitely see it as like a decline in society. The reason why I said like I see it like that is because, like, again, like I said earlier, with the whole shooting someone and taking away their First Amendment speech in their life is definitely in the wrong direction you want to be going. And a lot of people see it too with so many other factors coming into it, but I'll just go off of that. Really, it's definitely in a decline because it's just so, I want to say, aggressive. Everyone's being aggressive. Everyone's being emotional. And they can't seem to think rationally. And when you can't think rationally, that's when things get worse.
Yeah, I get that. I see it as a very harsh decline because it's not like he was, like I said before, it's not like he was a tyrant. He wasn't inciting racism. He wasn't inciting tyrannical fucking viewpoints or communism or anything like that. He wasn't inciting, sexist or misogynistic things. He was going by his belief. And he wasn't saying that, oh yeah, everybody raise up and be this way. He's saying why. He was asking the questions. He was talking about his standpoint across the board. He was making sure everybody knew his standpoint thoroughly because they gave him a platform to do it. They gave him a way to fucking communicate with so many people. Why wouldn't he say what he feels like or how he thinks or what he fucking thinks everything should do to change? And I think it's funny, and I'm going to do it now, and I said I wouldn't fucking do it, but fuck it anyways. This is my fucking show. He said the left and the right have fucking problems. He said that. They need to fix certain things.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say any party is fucking perfect or good. He said this needs to be fixed. This is what he thinks would change. And so many people resonated with it. So why the fuck is that inciting such anger, such hatred across the board? Because he can't change it himself.
Yeah.
I get it if you're like, he was the fucking president and inciting martial law across the board and saying this is going to fix it, but he can't do that. He's not doing that. He literally was having a conversation across the board. So there's no reason it should incite fucking hatred.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Like you said, no side is perfect. and you have extremes on both sides too.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
s-
100%.
You see it across the board. It sucks, but people are too attached to the ideals and want to be so right, even when there's parts of it that are wrong, and refuse to grow and adapt for the better.
Yeah. And that's what I think is concerning a lot. Because I chose to do many things in my life. One was to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. I've done things I'm not fucking proud of in the respect of that. And then I've done things I'm not proud of to say fuck that at the same time because it's what I believe. But I did what I needed to do to, one, survive, two, to make it better, and three, for my boys to make sure they get it home. And that's how it always will be. Yeah, Crow, I know. He's dead now. I know. I get it. But is a standpoint of it's not. You know what I meant. He couldn't do anything to actually make it do that. I get it if he was in office or in a political stage, but he wasn't. Because, in my own opinion, I could see him be a very amazing VP or president if he was still alive. He could be, because he'd had the conversations. He didn't force. He actually used strategy and talked and had conversation and tried to understand. But that's just my standpoint across the board. I don't know shit though, but yeah. All right, Savage.
Yes, sir.
Let's do a little dive on you, sir.
Dive on me, huh?
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah.
You good?
I'm good. Yeah. It
good?
was, first, I want to say week. It was it felt weird, see someone that you've seen on a daily basis on, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, gone. And it's interesting because, like, I never met the person. I never met him. And outside of, his debates, I didn't know what he really did as a living. Heck, I didn't even know what his wife looked like until after he passed. Never seen her.
Oh, really?
Didn't know she was a businesswoman. Didn't know any of that. I just knew him.
Yeah, I tend to dive down corners and shit like that to figure it all out. And yeah, and then I didn't know how deep her like, she's big in realty, big in business and stuff like that. I didn't know how deep down the rabbit hole I needed to go until JR came to me one day. He's like, "Did you know she did this?" I was like, "What the fuck? No, she didn't." And I went down and I started digging more. I was like, "Holy shit." And then that's when I found out that everything's fucking sold the fuck out. I was like, "Oh, I'll do that and I'll donate it to fucking whoever who's really religious in that background, because they'll like it. Homeless gets clothing too. It's a win fucking win." And he's like, "Everything's sold out." It's like, everything. It's like, damn, I wish my merch store was sold out. But yeah.
And I get that. It was more of like anger mixed with like a little bit of sadness, but mostly anger. Just because, like I said, I felt like that was like a literal attack on, people always cry about it today. We're like, "Oh, my freedom of speech is being attacked," or whatever. It's like, no, because no one's actually murdering you. No one's stopping you from talking. You can speak your voice, whether you're right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But in this standpoint, someone was actually killed, and it's not the first time it's happened in the country. You've had multiple people been assassinated for those kind of things. So yeah.
But had people that have been assassinated. We're not going over them because they have to bring up politics 100%, and I'm not sure everybody's ready for that conversation, because I'm pretty sure nobody's done their homework yet. But actually, I don't think anybody's ever going to do their homework. That's just me. Don't awe me, Crow. I know exactly. You know exactly where I was going to go with that too, because it'll just bring up your comment back up again, and you get to say it. No, we're not fucking doing that. All right. Yeah, dude. So, go ahead. Shoot your questions, dog.
Here's one I've been thinking about recently. It popped up somewhere before, but then it made me think, why do you think the other side of the table doesn't have open debates like Charlie Kirk did? Why do you think they never have like a real spokesperson out there doing the same thing that he did?
I don't know if you remember when Sean was on. We talked about safe space.
Mm.
Majority of the time, which I know this goes political, so fuck off, Crow, before you say anything. Majority of the time, it's a big ass echo chamber. Big ass echo chamber. And as much as I keep researching it more and more and more, like, I'm just like, there's got to be one different one that stands out just to fucking see.
Yeah.
And they all say the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
There's no differentiation of it. There's nobody that super confident that has some facts backing them, which if they did, I'd respect them so much fucking more. And I would be like, cool, I want to have a conversation with this person, not ignore you because you're saying stuff about feelings. But they don't do that. So it is what it is. FYI, I'm not sorry I said that. Just saying. But yeah, because no one listens to them. I mean, that I try to fucking listen to them. That's the thing about it. I try because I take myself as one of those people that try to understand why.
What is that
Because if
word?
I can understand why, then I can make sense of why they say certain things. But that's just, it doesn't make sense to me. And that's what it is. You all ton. Wait, did you just ask me?
Yeah,
you just asked me. Fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say they just start. What is that word right there?
I don't know. Hey, Crow, I need you to fucking translate the fuck you said there.
I was trying to figure what that word was. I was like, "Am I having a brain aneurysm right now?"
No, that's just
that word.
I think that's just crow drinking, man. I think that's just crow drinking. That's just it. But yeah. Anybody in chat? If you have anything to say, not political or religious or race or anything that makes you say I'm different than you, say in the chat. They eat their own. God damn it. There's no proof of that they eat their own people. Like, if you have proof of that, man, send it to me. And I mean real proof, not AI generated bullshit.
Or Boris, the snake that ate itself.
Oh, no. I get that. I know exactly what you're talking about, the snake that ate itself, but I was just trying to speed past that, but he read it out loud.
Jamie, pull it up. Okay. Calm down,
Damn
Logan.
it. Jesus Christ. Trying to pull a drift over here. Jamie, pull it up. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, how did the snake eat the head? I don't think we got that far in the fucking stories. Just let you know that, or the symbol.
Probably got to the tail.
Yeah. Usually, that's the whole thing about it. It chokes itself before it can get that far. All right, so yeah, we're gonna do this now. All right. I'm looking at what I wrote, and I don't like it now. But it is what it is. All right. I'm Terry, and this is Mr. Savage from Drawn the Ray podcast. These questions peel back some of the layers, just some, of why people choose to show celebration or compassion when faced with loss. It's not about sides. It's about us, our reasons, and where we go from here. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, do all the things. What choices have you made in similar moments is a question I'm going to leave. And I hope y'all actually comment. Oh, yes. Thank you, Inky. And God bless USA. Next episode, we're going to be talking about rating reality, dark laughs, and deep truths.